Easy people, welcome back to my channel at Big Steve MCFC. Well, we're back on the horse, baby. We're back on the horse. Manchester City 4, Aston Villa 1. Great performance last night by the Blues. After the disappointing draw against Arsenal at weekend, we needed to bounce back, get some points on the board, make sure people knew that we were still in the title race. And last night, we did it. Got to the ground nice and early. Good atmosphere building up. A lot of people saying the same thing. We need to bounce back tonight. Can't wait to see what the team is. Haaland needs to get a goal. De Bruyne's off it. You know, everyone had their own opinions of it. The team was announced. Few surprises. No Erling Haaland. No Kevin De Bruyne. Rico Lewis was in from the start with Akanji, Diaz, Guardiola at the back. We had Rodri holding. We had Jeremy Doku on the right. Bernardo Silva, Phil Foden, Jack Grealish, and Alvarez. So, false nine. Definitely a false nine position for me. Alvarez is always coming deep looking for the ball. We looked at Villa. They had a few injury problems as well. No Ollie Watkins, etc. Goalkeeper was out. So, yeah, we fancied our chances. Game started off and, we looked a different team. We looked a little bit more fluid in the middle of the park. I think Rico Lewis came into the midfield and brought energy. I think he brings a buzz to the midfield. I feel like every time Rico gets the ball, he's on the front foot and he's always looking to drive forward into spaces. We had Phil Foden and Bernardo Silva in there, linking up well. Little intricate passes. Bernardo was going more to the left, linking up with Jack Grealish on the left-hand side. They were doing a few little 1-2s down that flank, causing all sorts of problems down there. And Jeremy Doku on the right, he was looking like he had a bit of an end product. You know, he wasn't just getting the ball running into dead ends. He was sucking defenders in. He was beating his man. He was letting the ball go first time. He was coming back when he knew he was in a dead end instead of knocking it for a corner or a throw-in or things like that. And we looked like, you know, a different team. We looked like a team with a few more ideas, whereas the last few weeks we've looked like a team, when we get to the final third, we lacked ideas. The first goal, Rodri, great work by Jeremy Doku. And like you say, first time, Erling's not in the box. He's not playing. Don't put them high balls in. Let's get it across the floor. People running onto it. Jeremy pulls it across. Who's there? Rodri comes steaming in. Bang, 1-0. And then you're thinking, relax now. Relax. Because it was a little bit of nerves. You know, there was a little bit of tension around the ground. Realising that, you know, we can't really afford any more slip-ups in this title race. We have 9 games to go and basically we've got to win all 9. Even if we got a chance, you know, Liverpool could go and win all theirs, and Arsenal, could win all theirs. So we just got to do our job, you know what I mean? But it was a great start. Then Villa bounced back. They scored a great goal. They cut right through us. I feel like they caught us on the counter attack a little bit. It was a good move and a good finish by Duran, a young kid up front. Great finish, bottom corner, and it's 1-1. And then you're thinking, you know, is it going to be one of them days? You know what I mean? Is it going to be one of them days? But then cue the Phil Foden show. You know what I mean? Cue the Phil Foden show. We've been crying out for a few weeks for Phil to be playing in the central role in the 10. I know injuries have come in and that, and Pep's had him out on the wide, on the wing, but I do believe that we need to keep Phil Foden in the middle. We've got to keep Phil Foden in the middle of this park. He is absolutely running things at the minute. You know what I mean? His turn of pace, the way he gets the ball, turns it into space, always wanting the ball, always playing in between the lines. And then yesterday, Villa were getting a little bit dirty. We had a couple of free kicks in and around the box. Alvarez put one over the bar. And then we get another free kick, which I'm expecting Alvarez to take. Phil Foden lines it up, bends it in, left foot round the corner. Villa's wall. I think they're going to have to be answering questions about that. That was atrocious. So went right through the wall and in. So we're going in half time. We're 2-1 up. You know, we're 2-1 up, and we're waiting for the second half. We're happy days. But like you say, Jack Grealish first half, brilliant. Jack was bringing that ball down, so positive with his first touch, driving into the box, little 1-2s with Bernardo Silva. I don't think Aston Villa could handle him. You know what I mean? I don't think they could handle him. And I tell you something, you know, last year we were having discussions about Jack Grealish. People were throwing a price tag at him. But I tell you what, Manchester City are a far better team with Jack Grealish in the side. Let me tell you that. We're a far better team with Grealish in the side. And I tell you what, Jeremy Doku on the right, that might be the future because he looked a different player. Do you know what I mean? He looks a different player. Rodri, again, middle of the park. He's got Douglas Luiz in there. Rodri just made him look, you know, average at times when they were on there. They were trying to snap around his legs and that and trying to get the midfield under control. Villa had no chance. Rodri was just dominating it in there. He was aggressive. He was forceful. He was winning the ball, distribution. You know, he was playing in around their box, little dinks over to Grealish, dinks over to Doku. And I mean, if Phil Foden doesn't score a hat-trick, I think Rodri's man of the match. I thought it was brilliant. Josko Guardiola, yeah, going about his business at left-back again. Looked okay. Tremendous, you know what I mean? Getting better and better, in my opinion. Akanji and Diaz, we know what they bring to the table. Ruben's looking good now. Do you know what I mean? Looks like Ruben's got that bit between his teeth. You know what I mean? Trying to get it going. Ortega's stepped in for Edison. Not put a foot wrong. You know what I mean? So the team looked good. The fluidity of the team, the way we were passing the ball, a little intricate 1-2s in the middle, Rico Lewis, Bernardo, Foden, that's been missing for the last few weeks. It's not been there. And when I criticised City on the Big Six and said the way we've been playing at the minute, there's something missing, I was right. There was something missing. Bit of energy, bit of pride. And we turned it on second half. Phil Foden comes out, scores another one. Great finish, bottom corner. And then Phil rounds his hat-trick off. Absolute brilliant goal. I think he got fouled, jumped up, won the ball back, smashed it in the top bins. And then we've got the 4-1. It's a 4-1 victory at home against Aston Villa. Aston Villa are a good side. They turned us over at Villa Park this season, made us look really bad. Do you know what I mean? Absolutely embarrassed us. Should have been 3 or 4. So to get back to the Etihad and win 4-1 is so pleasing. And I think it's not just a result, it's a level of performance. I think that's what City fans have been craving. You know, some City fans have been saying to me this week, they feel like Haaland's body language is all wrong. And I mean, I get that. It didn't look the best at times. I don't believe he's a striker to get the ball into his chest and hold it and play. I feel like last season, we were playing a lot more balls through the lines, letting him run onto it. I don't think he gets that. And I think last season he was making loads of runs and not getting found. If you watch him now, I think he's give up on them runs. I feel like Haaland doesn't think, what's the point of me making the run because no one's finding me. And I think that's something we've got to come up with. You know, Jeremy Doku putting low crosses in like he did last night would have been bread and butter for Haaland. You know, Bernardo Silva putting crosses in would have been bread and butter for Haaland. But as soon as Erling plays, we don't play that way. We don't cross the ball in the box. It's a weird setup, you know what I mean? And I get why Erling Haaland's frustrated. He's the best striker in the world. Nobody's giving him the ball. He needs service. Another player that didn't play, Kevin De Bruyne. Obviously, best player we've got, but he's not been fully fit. I think Pep's managing this injury well. And if we can get away with a game where we can rest them two and still win, why not? It's not a dig at any of them two. Maybe they need a little rest. Maybe they're carrying niggles. But it just shows you that the depth of the squad underneath can get the job done if needed. You know what I mean? We've got a big game coming up against Palace. Crystal Palace is not the place we always enjoy. Do you know what I mean? It's always a tough game at Selhurst Park. So we've got to go there and win again. And if we can beat Palace going into Madrid, and then we've got Luton on the back of that, the Premier League run, if we can win the next 3 games, we're going to be cranking that pressure up. We're going to be turning the pressure up on the rivals, you know what I mean? So we just sort of concentrate what we do. We know what we've got to do. We know the level of performance that is needed to win the league. Yeah, we know the Arsenal game wasn't good enough, but we bounced back last night. We did. We bounced back. Good to see Oscar Bob, Gomez, etc. getting a few minutes. No harm in it, you know what I mean? You've got to give credit to people like Bob and Gomez. They sit on them benches. They're probably frustrated. They want a game, but they've got to bide the time. You know what I mean? They know they're in the good side. They've got to bide the time. They've got to get their head down in training. They've got to keep working hard. But it was very pleasing. It was very pleasing. You know, I think it's been a frustrating season. I do. I feel like a lot of City fans are with me when I say you come out the ground sometimes frustrated that, you know, we've got all the talent, we've got all the ability, but the system just didn't quite move as fluid as it has done. So to get a 4-1 win at home was pleasing on the eye. Phil Foden, you know, said at the beginning of the season, this was his standout season. He needs to step it up. For me, he's stepping it up. He's getting better and better and better. And Gareth Southgate, I'm sorry, if you don't play Phil Foden as your number 10, yeah, for England, then I think you deserve to lose your job because he's proven it. And you're a manager that says you pick players on performances on the pitch. Yeah. Well, there you go. You're not getting better than Phil Foden at the minute. So for me, he should start. We've got Crystal Palace coming up at weekend. I'm probably not going to do a review for Palace because I've got to travel down there tomorrow night. So we'll do it now. Crystal Palace, Selhurst Park. What do you reckon? Does Haaland and De Bruyne come in? Do Haaland and De Bruyne stay on the bench? Do we start with the same team we just started and then maybe bring them on late in the game? See if we can manage them a little bit more? Or is it no, Kevin De Bruyne and Haaland have got to start? You know, we need the win. What do you think? Leave your comments below. Let me know. Very interested in the thoughts of people. You know, with how good we played, would you keep the same team? You know? Does John Stones come in or do you rest John Stones for another game? Real Madrid coming up. Who's going to play at right back against Vinicius Jr.? Kyle Walker don't like he's going to be fit. Is Edison going to be back? There's lots of things going on at the club that we, you know, that could make and shape our season. But I feel like Alvarez in the 10, he was busy. He worked hard. He didn't create an awful lot of chances, but he was linking up in the middle of the park. What I found intriguing last night in me, I like the little 1-2s and little flicks and the little short, intricate passes that we've missed that. We've missed that. We had that last season with Gundogan. We had it in there. The little balls through. We had it. Last few games, it's not been there. You know what I mean? We've been playing on the edge of everyone's box, left to right. No end product. I feel like if there is a criticism of City at the minute, I feel like we don't take enough shots. I feel like Jack Grealish got in some great positions yesterday to pop a shot off. You know what I mean? He didn't do it. I feel like Rico got on the edge a few times, could have let one go. Didn't. Bernardo the same. But listen, I think that's the Manchester City way. I just think we're used to that now. The last few years, we've always been like that. Even under David Silva, we were like that, shouting, shoot. David Silva never used to shoot. So I think that's just a Man City fan moan. We're allowed it. But yeah, it was good. And anyway, we got the win. So let me know what you think about Palace. Do we keep the same lineup or do we change it? Does Kevin De Bruyne come in? Does Haaland come in? Let me know. Also, while I'm on, the Treble documentary landed on Netflix. I'm not going to spoil it for anybody, but it's a great watch. It's very emotional, especially the last episode. I think the last episode, when you see what it meant to the fans and the players of winning the treble in the European Cup, I think that was the one that got me a little bit. That's what got me a little bit teared up. Episode 3, Arsenal away. You can see Big Steve celebrating on the front row. So I did make the documentary. I am happy with that. But if you haven't watched it, watch it on Netflix. It's brilliant. And you've got to look at Pep in this documentary. It's come out really good. The speech at Southampton away, saying these people come following you to Southampton. They can't even turn the heating on at home. And you put a level of performance in like that, you know, and he's right. There's a couple of little moments where he questioned the team, saying you don't want it. If you don't want it, the academy is ready. Do you know what I mean? So there's always that fire underneath these players that if you don't want to win leagues and titles, there's somebody else going to come in with that hunger and wants to do it. You know what I mean? He made an example of Rico Lewis on one of the episodes for being the only man on the pitch that wanted to win. So this is why he's the best manager in the world. When you see these little snippets and that, you realise what he's got going. And the camaraderie around the team, the way they kept it going, the banter and everything that they have, the lads and that, it's a great place to work. It looks fantastic in there. And that's why they got the treble over the line. But anyway, people, I'll be at Palace and then I'm flying out to Madrid. If you're at Palace or Madrid and you see me, come and say hello. Keep fighting the flag. Keep pushing the Man City propaganda online. Don't let any of these other teams steal a march on us on these socials. We keep on going. We're the treble winners. We're the champions. And we ain't going to give up. Leave a comment below. Like, subscribe to my channel. I'll see you lot at Palace. Come on, City.